Jeffro from Two Hacks Garage. It's another one of those videos where it's going to be engine math. You know, all that stuff you might have learned, maybe not, in math and geometry class. You know, those classes you really hated in high school and college. Well, you know what? Those classes are actually going to start coming in handy. Last couple of videos, I've shown you some of that math when it comes to building an engine or preparation for building an engine, and this video is going to be no different. I recently purchased a forged steel crank for my 292 build, which is based off a 283 cubic inch small block Chevy, and I want to make sure that it's correct. What do I mean by correct? Well, guys, when I bought it, it was advertised as 10 under on the mains and 10 under on the rod side. So in order to do that, to make sure it's true, what I mean by true is there's no taper across the journal and actually round, that it's round and not oval, you're going to need to measure these. I'm not one for just buying used parts and throwing them into an engine. I want to verify the machine work was done. So in this video, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to measure your crankshaft to make sure all that is correct. And on top of it, I'm going to show you what tools you use with that. This isn't going to be a video where I'm measuring for bearing clearance. I'll do that for another video after I pull my engine out of the hot tank. So guys, this video, it's more of that math. I should be outside drag racing and doing burnouts and having a whole lot of fun. But unfortunately, the weather's turning. Actually, today's Halloween, and it's currently raining, cold, and windy outside. So for the next few months, I'm going to be stuck inside, building engines, doing all the machine work, and kind of getting into that finer details of what actually goes on to make this happen. So with that, I'm going to show you what we're working with and what we're going to do. See you in a few. All right, guys. Well, here's the crankshaft that I got. Like I said, it's used, but the guy did state that it was freshly machined, 10 under on the mains and 10 under on the rods. What's that mean? Well, it's talking about taking 10 thousandths off of here and 10 thousandths off of here. So I want to make sure all that is correct. Like I said, I just don't normally buy used parts and throw them in there and call it good. I want to verify everything is correct. What kind of crank is this? Well, it's a forged steel crank. It's a factory GM casting, which is 3815-822. If that sounds familiar, well, it's a small journal. It was used in 265s and 283s, and that same casting number was used also in later years for trucks, but that same casting number was also used for the DZ302 program. However, this is not a DZ302 crank. One easy way to tell, on the DZ302 crank, back here, it's not completely round. It's actually flanged, and that was for the DZ302 only. The difference between the two is the DZ302 is nitrided for hardness. So while it's not the DZ302 crank, it's still forged steel. It's still a good crank, and I can't wait to put in this engine and see this little puppy rev to the moon. That's besides the point. So what do we need to do? Well, we're going to need to measure all our bearing points on here. So with the mains, you're starting off, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then on your throw / rod, you got 1, 2, 3, and 4, because there's 2 per rod journal. So 4 times 2 is 8, because you got 8 cylinders. So tools you're going to need, well, you're going to need micrometers, and in this case, I'm going to use 1 to 2 and 2 to 3, just because the rod journals and the main journals are different sizes. I already got them set up. I've already got it calibrated. Those are ready to go. So how do you do this? Well, it takes a little bit of time, takes a little practice. You're going to have to kind of just play around with your micrometer to do that. I'll show you here in a minute. But what you really want to do, guys, first is you want to get your information on all this. So what I did was I went to a Chilton manual, and I got all the factory specs on the main bearings and also the connecting rods. If you look here, the connecting rods, this was the tolerance from the factory, and this what it should be when you take it 10 under. On the main bearings, if you look at number 1 and number 5, those are different than 2, 3, and 4. That's the outside, and that's where your oil pump goes on in the back. So this journal here and this journal here are different from the ones in the middle. If you look, though, there's really not that much difference. And when you look at most journals and you look at most books on rebuilding and all that, they always go off of generic factory specs, mains 2300, rods 200. So we're going to kind of shoot for on a 10 under. We want to see the main somewhere in this category and rod somewhere in this category. However, if we want to get more granular with it, I've got those numbers too. So you got to kind of want to do your homework, first prior to doing any of this, just so you know where you're going to be standing. So what do? Well, you're going to use a micrometer on these here, and you're going to measure it. So it's not that bad to do, but when you do this, you're going to want to take 3 points. And you're going to take your center here, here, and here. Those numbers are important. You're going to do that on each journal, but you're going to want to do it 90 degrees. So if you were to take this, split it open, and look this way, like I have this little chart here, you're going to want to do that in 90 degrees. So you'll take a measurement with your caliper or your micrometers like this, and then you're going to do it like this. That's going to help you determine if it's out of round or not. It's oval, but you really want to see the same numbers this way and this way. And you're going to do that on 3 points. And the reason you're going to do that on 3 points is, if you look here, you want this parallel completely perfect on all your journals. What do I mean by that? If you get a measurement here and here that are different, that means you got some taper. That means your crank's worn, bent, or in some cases not machined right. So it's not too bad to do. I'm going to actually demonstrate here in a few seconds on doing that, and then I'll go through them all down, and I will write all of my stuff down. So if you look here, I got a kind of a chart I made for the different points. So on your mains, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mains, and I have my points of measurement. There's going to be 2 for each one because you're going to do it at 90 degrees. Same thing here on the rods, point 1, 2, and 3, and you're going to have 2 measurements on each there. So once I get all my measurements, I will check it to see if it's in spec, make sure I have no taper, make sure it's not out of round, so I can call it good at 10 under, 10 under. With that, let me show you how to do this. All right, guys, so we're going to show you how to do this. So the factory mains on a small block Chevy small journal, the mains are 2/300 and the rods are 2-inch, exactly 2-inch. The large journal is a 2/100. So I'm actually going to be using 2 different micrometers. This one measures 1 to 2. I'll use that on the rods, and this one's 2 to 3. That's on the mains. So at 10 under, this should actually read at 2.290 on the mains, and on the rods, it should be 1.990. That would give it a true 10 under. So like I said, just like in the illustration here, you're going to want to do 90 degrees. So I need to find a point on the first main here, here, and then this way. And this here is the illustration to see if there's any taper, different measuring points on the actual rod journals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a point here, and I'm going to measure this on here. You just got to be super careful, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to scratch. Sorry, got the wrong one. You don't want to scratch it. And you're not going for super tight, just snug. Like I said, you kind of have to play around with this a little bit, just to be able to get the feeling of it. All right, so if you look here, so I got 2-inch, 0, 1, 2. Each little tick mark is a quarter, so it's 25, 50, 75. Add your 15 thousandths. So that's 2.75 plus 15 thousandths. So that's exactly 2.290. So that's telling me that that main on that calculation is at 2.290, which is 10 under. So I measured that point. Now I need to go 90 degrees of that to check for roundness. Mind you, I got my spec sheet here, and I'm going to write everything down. Okay, at 90 degrees, same thing. 2.12, 2 1/4, 2 1/2, 2.75, and then add your 15 thousandths at 9. If you wanted to get more technical with it down to 10 thousandths an inch, what you're going to do is you're going to go on your micrometer and you're going to find which line matches up on here. And in this case, it should be as close to 0 as possible. Let me look from that. And if you look on top, it is. Sorry for the focus, but yeah, it's right there. So that main right there is at exactly 10 thousandths under. So what I'm going to do next, after I write that down, I'm going to show you a rod journal. And mind you, before you do this, you do need to clean these. I just cleaned these two to show you what's going on. These here, I still need to clean. You want to make sure after you clean it and check them to oil these down because they will flash rust. And mind you guys, when checking this, be careful not to scratch it. All right, now let's go ahead and let's check on the actual rod journal. And this is the one we need to check for taper, just like in this illustration. So I'll still do the 90 degrees, but I'm going to check it at 3 points. First, I'm going to check in the center, and then I'm going to check on the outsides. Be careful. Don't go too far in there because there is a fillet. It's a little radius in here. That's for oiling on the rods. So stay away from the exact far outside of it and just come in a little bit on there. So we're going to check these points here, and I'll write those numbers down. Mind you, I'm going to have to use a different micrometer because this is a 2-inch factory journal that's been cut 10 under. So in theory, when this comes measured out, I should see 1.990. Same thing. Just be careful. Don't scratch the journal. All right, let's see what we got here. 2.9, quarter, half, 3/4, add the 15 thousandths. Sorry, 1. So that's 1,975. Add the 15 thousandths, 1,990. So that's showing me right there. That one is also at a correct point of where it needs to be as far as being 10 thousandths under. So I'm going to write my measurements down on that, and I'm going to check it at 90 degrees. There you go, same reading. And like I said, if you wanted to get real technical down to the 10 thousandths, you would find where it lines up to the closest line. Now that I got those, what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to measure the outsides of these at 90, and I'll get back with you in just a second. All right, so I got everything checked on these two here. So this one here, like I said, I did the 90 degree on the mains here, and this one here I checked not only to make sure if it was out of round, but I also checked the taper. So like I'm just going to recap on that. What you can do is quite simple. You're going to check 90 degrees. That's going to tell you if it's in round or not, and also inspecting if it's true or not to what it's supposed to be size-wise. And then you can check on your rod journals here. You're going to do the same thing, 90 degrees, but you're going to check these 3 different points and to see if it's actually parallel or not, or if it has any taper. So what I did is when I went ahead and took those measurements on that rod journal, and that first rod journal there, that one there was about a 10 thousandths difference. So not really anything to be concerned with, but if you look, these are all within spec. So I'm going to call that rod journal good at 10 thousandths. And if you look here, on my main, same thing. My main was fine, good to go. Check that in the center, a couple different points, and that one's also 10 thousandths. So what I need to do next, guys, is I need to go through and wipe all those down and check the rest. Tell you what, guys, I'm going to go ahead and take care of that, and I'll get back with you. All right, so all the journals now have been measured. Like I said, guys, it takes a little bit of time to really, kind of fine hone your ability to use one of these micrometers. I'm still learning. That's why it takes me a little bit of time. One thing, too, make sure when you're measuring, stay away from these little cranks, the oiling holes there. That could throw it off. So, what did I find out? Well, all the mains were dead on. All the rods were pretty much dead on. So this thing is actually truly 10 under on the mains and 10 under on the rods. So what's that mean? Well, when you go to source your bearings for this, you can't get standard. You're going to have to get 10 under and 10 under. So with that, though, what I'm going to do in another video, when I get my block back, I'm going to show you how to measure the actual block with the mains on it, with main bearings in it for actual overall bearing clearance. But in the video title, it says how to measure and how this can affect performance. Well, here's the deal, guys. If this thing wasn't machined correctly and you had a bunch of taper, or it wasn't truly 10 under and your bearing size was too tight, you're not going to oil this correctly. It's going to get hot and it's going to seize. Now, if this was incorrectly machined and it was too loose, well, what you're going to see is it's not going to want to oil correctly, and you're going to have low oil pressure and cause a situation where it could starve and spin a bearing. Either way, you can spin a bearing. Either way, it's not good. Kind of the old rule of thumb for these engines is, so for every inch of bearing journal, that's what you want for bearing clearance. So if it was, let's just say, a 2-inch journal, your minimum bearing clearance, you would want 2/1000ths of an inch. This is a street engine here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot for just a little bit more than that. We'll see how that turns out. There's a lot more to come on that. So yeah, that's how you can measure these pretty accurately. So to understand if it's correct, especially if you buy a crank like what I just did, and to also ensure that these are round and don't have any taper. So what's the next step for this crank? Well, I have a little bit of work to do on it. Like I said, I have some block machining to do, and I'm going to check with bearing clearance with a dial bore gauge, see overall bearing clearance, what that's going to come out to be. You can use plastic gauge, and I'll show you how to do that too, but there's some other more pertinent methods. So yeah, this can affect your performance, guys, whether if it's out of round, too tight, or in some cases, too loose. Either way, whether it's a new crank, a used crank, or a freshly machined crank, you always want to ensure if it's 10 under, it's truly 10 under, or whatever your specs are, is truly what it is. With that, guys, I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, leave a comment. And as usual, till next time, later.